Welcome, everyone, to Stan Morris Field in Wayne, Nebraska. It's time for National STOL at the Wayne America Fly-In. It's the National STOL Circuit's first ever appearance here. All told, 42 STOL pilots from all over the country have flown here for the rare opportunity to fly in both of the leading STOL competitions, that's STOL Drag and National STOL. Want to take a look at your sectional today? It's KLCG, that's Lima, Charlie, Golf. We're competing today on runway 13. It's 2,070 feet of dusty turf in good condition. That's 120 feet wide. Weather this weekend looks good but challenging with gusty crosswinds in the forecast. An incredibly stacked field this weekend, particularly in the touring and sport classes. And there's lots of STOL legends here this weekend. Steve Henry, Hal Stockman, Warren Grobelar, Jeff Pohl, Austin Clemens, Jaden Newman, Kyle Bushman, and more. They're all here. Keep an eye on Dan Reynolds, fresh off his impressive numbers at Valdez. And also, watch for hometown favorite Colin Kaniva to put in some real work. He knows the fields and sandbars around here, but will it help him on the turf? We're just about cleared for takeoff. The pattern is clear. The line is painted. Let's kick this thing off. That's right, everybody. It is time to get pumped, get excited for the finals here at Wayne America Fly-In for National STOL. I'm looking at the beautiful crowd braving the winds right now. They're all ready to go. Everybody wave. We can see you. For the viewers at home, wave to the cameras. That's right. We're ready for some awesome STOL action. If you didn't know, my name is Ryan Dombrowski. You can find me all over the internet as Super Arrow. And I'm excited to bring this to you from the studio, but in the Wayne, at Wayne, my good friend Corey Robin is on the ground, ready to go and tell us more about what's happening play by play. And we are back in Wayne, Nebraska for the Wayne America Fly-In. The crowd is all gathered there. Love to see you all. Make sure you wave, everybody. Make sure you hoot and holler. You guys having fun today here at National STOL?
I am. I gotta tell you.
I'm assuming they're cheering. I can't hear them in the studio. I'm assuming they're cheering, but we love you so much for showing up and checking out this awesome STOL action. And boy, what a fun day it has been so far. We had the touring class just with the down to the bitter end, right to the end, seeing how it's going to end up. And the rookie class, same thing with a bunch of scratches, delaying some placements in the class. So really exciting to see. Now we are moving on to the backcountry class.
This is one of my favorite classes that we're about to see today. We've got so much going on. We've got grudge matches. We've got the Beast in Jeff Whiteley's airplane. Austin Clemens with the rule change coming in. We're adding a Husky to the backcountry class this year. Very, very exciting round of competition coming your way. A couple of things to watch. Jeff Pohl, Micah Lindstrom. These guys have been talking smack with each other for years. They are constantly going at each other. And Micah actually asked me to tell you that he taught Jeff how to fly. And I wanted to make sure that you knew that he asked me to tell you that. But Jeff Whiteley in the Beast, this customized, big, it's beautiful, it's a 175. He is not to be counted out either. This is just going to be a fun round of competition here today at Wayne America.
So hearing from race control that we have a little bit of a break before we move into that backcountry class, but it's going to be an exciting one to watch. And one thing that we could do, of course, is talk a little bit more about backcountry flying. So Corey, you have a storied career as a backcountry pilot. I remember first learning about you back in your Wilga days with, I think it was Wilga Beast. Was that the name of the plane?
Yeah, I had a Wildebeest, had a 450 horsepower radial on the engine, and I took that plane all over the place in Idaho, Montana, basically the entire western United States, keeping up with the guys in the Cubs. And you know, one of the things that I always said to myself, boy, those guys just make it look so easy. And then I got into a Cub and I realized, boy, it is. The Wilg is much more difficult to fly than these more modern backcountry airplanes, and so I am not looking back at all. I did love my experience owning the Wildebeest, but I got to tell you, the Carbon Cub, these Rans, the Cessna 170s, these aircraft are a heck of a lot more easy to shoehorn into these tight locations in the backcountry for sure. And don't forget the fun aspect of it. In communing with nature, that's one of the things that draws me into it, is that I love to get out there and land on the sandbars and experience the nature, land in the canyons, get into the alpine forests or the deserts or and that's what I really love, the airplane camping, the getting out there and being a part of nature. And then you combine it with this. You are able to get out here in your proving grounds and cut your teeth and get your skill set and then go out and prove it in the back. And, I just love this stuff. I don't know if you can tell, but I just do.
I can tell. One of the things I wanted to ask you about with all of that experience is how does this translate, right? Obviously, it's a competition. Obviously, we're on sometimes we're at sea level. We're not in the backcountry sometimes, right? And when we do these competitions, but how do these skills apply to what you're doing in your Carbon Cub now, right? You're flying around, you're landing on sandbars and things. How does that apply to this facsimile of it in competition?
Well, it does absolutely apply. And back when I was spending more time in the competitions, I would alter my approaches. For example, I wanted to be able to land short coming in high. And so I would come in high at one competition, and that's how I would practice it. I wanted to also learn how to come in low. And the reason why I practice so many different techniques is in the backcountry, you got to have those in your tool chest because you might have terrain or obstacles, pine trees, mountains, rivers, turns, all kinds of different things. But it does translate very, very well. One of the things that does give you is confidence in the backcountry because it can be very intimidating turning right into the side of a mountain, looking at a 200-foot landing strip at 10,000 feet and wondering, can I do it? It's much better to know if you can do it. And that's why these competitions and these proving grounds, this training area, essentially what we have, that's why it's vital to our aviation infrastructure. And I don't say that lightly. I think National STOL, I think STOL Drag, and I think Valdez and the guys that pioneered these competitions, I think these are vital things to take pilots to the next level. And that next level is, let's get out there in the wild and let's enjoy the backcountry. That's what I love about it.
I love it. No, I love it. And it's funny, right? Like I've been doing all this work announcing for National STOL for years now, and I've barely scratched the surface of my backcountry experiences. I grew up, I always bring it up at least once every show. I grew up on J3 Cubs, and I have at least a little bit of experience with that and that type of flying around Wisconsin. It's, down in the cornfields and, on a farm strip or whatever that maybe crop dusters are using. So got a little bit of experience like that. But the interesting thing to me is to watch as we see these competitors during these events, what people don't see on the stream, but you do see nationalstol.com or YouTube, things like that, is you do see all the camaraderie and all the exploration and the ability of all of the pilots to share the skill set with each other is really impressive too. So, seeing, I think it was at Swamp STOL. Was Swamp STOL? I think it was Swamp STOL. Someone should correct me on that. Watching Justin Tisdale have his first off-airport landing as a competitor, right? He went out and landed on I think a beach somewhere, and that's really incredible. That's a really incredible thing.
I actually had the opportunity to go out flying with Jeff and a bunch of the other competitors a couple of days ago right here in Wayne, Nebraska. We went down to the North Platte River, found some sandbars, and had a really great time In fact, I don't know if there's a package, there's some the footage. This is actually footage that you guys online are seeing right now from that trip that we did just a couple of days ago, where we took a bunch of bush planes and we put them to work like you would do in the wild. So we're out there having a great time, landing at these iconic, just absolutely gorgeous locations, and that's what makes it special. Isn't that great? Just the best time you can have in an airplane. I have had a wonderful opportunity in my aviation journey to experience a lot of different kinds of aviation. I've been involved in the warbird community. I've been involved in the aerobatics community. I've competed at the aerobatic level. There's not a lot of competition and that kind of thing at the warbird level, but I've gone through the formation schools and things like that with the warbirds. But what really connects with me is the backcountry, and that's why I just keep coming back, and I just always have to own a backcountry airplane. Looking on the screen here, we're seeing Warren jump into his airplane. It's just such a beautiful, look at this footage. This is stuff that actually happens, and we're actually able to go out.
It's a real thing that someone's actually doing. Like, we're watching here right now for the folks in the crowd who can't see this, watching footage
This
of
isn't
Warren
Hollywood. This isn't a set. It's beautiful.
He's taking off in a farm field past some beautiful trees. There's Jeff Pohl doing the same now.
And look at that. He's doing his tail high takeoff in the backcountry the same exact way that he would do in a competition. And so that is just a testament to taking these skills and doing it in the backcountry. Look at these shots. Unbelievable. Reese, you are the man. I got to give a little shout out to him. He's the one that puts these little video packages together. He was generous enough to wake up really early in the morning and come out and ride with me. I'm just really grateful he did, because we would not have this fantastic Hollywood-grade footage if he didn't come out. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wow, this is incredible stuff. For folks in the
Right?
in the crowd, what you should do is go, oh wait, I think I recognize that plane. Who's that guy flying that plane?
And let me just put it out there, because you never know, right? We would love to be showing this same footage that you're seeing live on the internet. We'd love to show this to our audience that's here in person. So if you're in that business where you have outdoor screens, or you know somebody who's in that and that can provide that to us here at National STOL, that's another element that we would love to add to our competitions, a Jumbotron, so that the crowd here at Wayne or the other competitions can see those live replays, because I think that would be another element. So I'm just going to put it out there to the internet and anybody who might be listening that we are looking for that. Please reach out to National STOL if you're in that business, and hook us up. We would love to be able to provide that to our audience, because this footage that I'm seeing on my screen, I would love everybody to see it. It's crazy good.
It's crazy good. And to describe what we're seeing right now is we've got all these various competitors that you guys all took off in from a farm field and now landing on a sandbar in a river. And so when we talk about what we're doing at National STOL with the line, in this footage, we have a real concrete example of what that's like in the real world, right? If you land before the line, if you're to scratch in this situation, as in this footage we see, you're going to get wet.
And no, this landing zone that Jeff is flaring and landing at now this was really, really as backcountry as it gets. It had whoops, it had bumps, it had trees. As I was taxiing, Reese was kind of joking. He's like, Corey, you're cutting down all these trees. But that's what you have to do in the backcountry to sometimes get into these really short but iconic locations. And I got to tell you, we got out of our airplanes and we just all kind of looked at each other and we said, wow, we are really doing this. This is what it's all about. And we have these experiences over and over and over, and we just want to share it with the world. And so that's one of the things I'm just gushing about National STOL today, but they're bringing this content to you live on the internet. Just look at this footage, and I want you to start dreaming. I want you to start seeing yourself on that sandbar in your own airplane. And I want you to start putting in the work to do it. If that's what you want to do, come on out and join the family. This is your invitation card. Us being here, us competing, bringing this content to you, this is your invitation. Come on out and play with us and join the family.
And if landing on a sandbar doesn't get you excited enough to do it, just join the aviation family in general, right? Like this has been such an
Absolutely. And
incredible experience for me to become a pilot. You know, I got my pilot's certificate uh, over 10 years ago now, and there's the old Paul Poberezny quote, founder of EAA, the Experimental Aircraft Association, which I would consider maybe one of the one of the hearts of aviation, the passion of aviation. They do a really good job of keeping people excited and engaged. And he always said, come for the planes and stay for the people. And the fact that through aviation, I have friends like you, Corey, friends like the National STOL team, I've got friends in foreign countries all over the world that are pilots that I see maybe once or twice a year now at, Sun and Fun or Oshkosh, some of these various air shows. And I would never have those connections to these people if I didn't have kind of the catalyst for it in aviation. So I just, it's changed my life for the better. Obviously, it's also just a great personal accomplishment to become a pilot. It's something I think anyone can do. You just have to put in the time. It's more affordable than you think it is. I remember picking up my first copy of Sport Aviation and seeing a Kit Fox in there. We're going to see a Kit Fox compete later today, and seeing a Kit Fox in there, and then looking up how much it would cost to buy and build one, and thinking, wait a minute, that's something that with the right planning, even as like, a young person at the time, with a very low paying job, right, being like, wait a minute, like this is something that I could do if I focus in on it. This is something that could be real for me. And so I think that's the other part of it, is just to invite everyone to say, this could be real for you too. As we watch this footage of Colin Caneva just bursting into the air in that Carbon Cub, this is something that could be real for you. You just got to go out and grab it. And we'd love to have you as part of the family for sure.
Absolutely. And I want to open it out to people that are not even interested in being in the cockpit or in airplanes either. There's a lot of people here that are having a great time that are not pilots. There are probably more non-pilots at this event, and maybe even watching, than there are pilots. And it's just a fun, great atmosphere. There's a lot of families here. There's really something for everyone. There's just little microcultures, so there's comfort for everyone here and a place for everyone of any interest. And man, I just don't know how to communicate that any more than we already have.
No,
I'm just really excited
Corey,
about it.
No, it's a passion for you and I hope people don't mind hearing us wax poetic here a little bit about it. But I know it's changed both of our lives, and yeah, it's a really incredible thing. And again, come join our community now that Corey and I have reminisced and gushed about aviation. It's time to get back to some of the action here at Wayne America. We're going to kick off our backcountry class. And why don't we do that first by just running a little interview? Let's meet some of those pilots in that class.
My name's Jeff Whiteley. I'm from Jefferson, Oregon, just south of the capital in Salem. And this is a 1958 Cessna 175, which used to be a nose wheel and converted to a tail wheel and then raised up to 35s. Currently has an 0470, which is a conversion for these. Have an MT reversible pitch prop on it. And that was new this year. Got leading edge slats, which is kind of what started the whole madness. And then a baby bush wheel. She flies real well. She flies better than the pilot. Pilot's got to get used to her. So that's kind of, we call it the Beast. AOPA actually named that in one of their articles. And so I just kind of ran with the logo and said, you know what, I kind of like this. And I like the black and white with the invasion stripes look. And that's kind of how it ended up that way. You know, this is actually my first national STOL event. I've done a couple in my hometown, just, a little bit here and there, but nothing nationally or not yet. It's been really fun. It really helps, when we fly in and out of the gravel strips and gravel bars and the real short places in and out, and it's good practice for that. I just got to get the nervous out and get it out here, you know, on a grass runway with all my peers and make it happen, because I seem to do pretty well there, but out here I get a little nervous. So I think that's just part of the gig.
So that is Jeff Whiteley in that experimental Cessna 175, talking a little bit about his aircraft, the Beast. You know, it's funny, we were talking about yesterday, Austin Clemens made waves in National STOL and the other STOL competitions because he brought in that seaplane modified Aviat Husky with the reversible pitch prop. And a lot of people, you know, saw that as the next stage in aviation, and you just heard that Jeff Whiteley's got that new this year on the Beast, which that was new information for me until I'd seen that video. So that's really great to see. We got more innovation. That's going to make it harder. It's not exactly a you know, a silver bullet. That's going to make it harder for the 170s to compete, but the workload for the pilot with those reversible pitch props in a landing configuration, to use them that way, that beta thrust to help slow them down, the workload is really high. And so you'll see, for instance, yesterday in qualifying, Austin Clemens not using that tool in his toolbox because he didn't need to based on the conditions. So it's still anyone's game, so to speak. The other thing to add here is that you're going to see Clint Bucinich in the Badlands Traveler competing. He didn't arrive on time due to some weather complications, things like that, to formally compete, but he's going to be just demonstrating in the exhibition class, which will be exciting to see him fly in that Badlands Traveler, formerly, or kind of like somewhat affectionately called the Cessna Cub, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we see it. So getting ready to kick off the backcountry class, first up will be Jeff Pohl in the Cessna 170, followed by Micah Lindstrom. Corey talked a little bit about their relationship and clearing up some of the some of the rumors about their relationship, who's training who, whatever. Also in a Cessna 170, though, that's Micah. Then Jeff Whiteley in that experimental 175, and Austin Clemens will be competing behind him. Here's Jeff Pohl now, off the line, taking a huge bite and kicking it off really aggressive right away.
Oh, yeah, and right as he throttled up, you felt the energy come right back into the competition, too. And here's Micah Lindstrom. These two are going head-to-head. It pretty much is between Micah and Jeff to them. It doesn't even matter that Jeff and Austin are in this class. They are hungry for blood. That was a beautiful takeoff by Micah there. Jeff put in 95 feet, and so that's throwing down a pretty dang good score for his first takeoff. Really excited to see what Micah's score came in at. Looks to be very close. 89 feet, so they're very close. Jeff has got his work cut out for him already. Got to make up 6 feet, and that is a distance for him. That is going to be difficult. Jeff Whiteley coming in with the Beast. Oh, man, just look at the imposing nature of that thing. It just looks mean.
It's terrifying. And it sounds terrifying, too.
I was going to say, it's a little loud. It's beautiful. I love that camera shot as you line up the airplanes, the precision of getting these airplanes lined right up. Here's Austin Clemens in his Husky. This is just one of the staple aircraft of the backcountry. We see these a lot. They carry a lot of weight. A great airplane if you're in the market for a certified backcountry airplane. The Husky's just a great one. Long-time company in Wyoming puts those together. Really great aircraft. Now here we go. Back to the grudge match. This is Jeff Pohl. He's got 6 feet to make up from Micah's landing. And this is the first round. This is the one where they want to put a score on the board. So what I'm going to probably assume from Jeff here is he's setting himself up just for success. He wants to get a good number on the board.
So So here's Jeff Pohl now coming in.
Absolutely good approach here.
Looks good on the line.
Yep, good landing. Lexi's giving him a checkered flag. And the replay shows that that was very, very close. That is a great shot.
We've got Micah Lindstrom coming up in that 170 also. He's got that MT prop on the front of it. Listen to that MT whistle. You'll hear it whistle a little bit as it comes over the line.
So Jeff's landing came in at 99 feet. So Micah has a little bit of wiggle room. Jeff's landing will count and it will stand. So Micah, if he puts anything under 105 feet here, he's going to be in the lead. It does not look like Micah will do it. So that puts Jeff in the lead now with 194 feet. Micah probably came in somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 feet. So that's going to put Jeff in the lead. But here comes Jeff Whiteley. His takeoff also very competitive, 120 feet. But his landings are typically a little shorter than his takeoffs. So let's watch Jeff come in the beast. Oh, and it's a scratch from the align official, unfortunately, for Jeff. As he lets out a little puff of smoke for good measure.
Yeah, just a little early on that one for Jeff Whiteley. Now, he's been called the boy wonder. I don't know if he's still young enough to be called that anymore, and he probably hates that. But it's Austin Clemens coming in, also rocking the McFarlane Aviation MT prop.
Absolutely, and Austin is no stranger to competition or skill demonstrations. Look at that beautiful landing from Austin Clemens, keeping the tail up for good measure. Maybe a little showmanship in there, probably in the neighborhood of about 70 feet, I would estimate. And that would probably put him in the lead.
You would be right. So right now, after the first round of the backcountry class, we have Austin Clemens in first with 156. Jeff Pohl's got some ground to cover if he wants to catch up to him with 194, and Micah Lindstrom also a little bit of ground to cover if he wants to catch up to Jeff with 218, and then Jeff Whiteley scratching. So we'll see where he lands to mix it up. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is that we misspoke about Clint in the Badlands Traveler. He's going to be flying with the MOAX in the next class, in the adventure class. So look for him flying his Badlands Traveler in the same class as those Legend aircraft. MOAX coming up next. So here's Jeff Pohl now on the line.
Now I'm looking for a little bit more aggressive technique from Jeff on this one. He has a score on the board, but he is the kind of competitor that likes to shave off the inches, the feet, the distance. So let's watch Jeff as he gets into the power setting here. Tail high. Watch his tail. Bounces it off the runway. That was a perfect takeoff from Jeff Pohl. He pulled that elevator at the exact moment he needed to. That was a very fantastic takeoff from Jeff Pohl. That's going to put the pressure on both Austin and Mike a little bit. Even though Austin does have a little bit of an edge, Jeff is throwing down the gauntlet. I just love
Checking the
Micah's
live weather now, Corey. Is it getting windier there in Wayne?
You know, I don't think so. I think the wind is pretty continuous and steady. It's gusty, but as far as the trending, it really hasn't changed much from our earlier rounds, Ryan. Micah putting in a fantastic takeoff as well. That one looked very close to Jeff's. I really, 73 feet, so 20 feet shorter than Jeff. The pressure is on. This is great. Here comes Jeff Whiteley and Beast. Absolutely, he is coming.
Austin getting taxied right up to the line there. Watching him fly the last few years has been just an absolute treat. Getting to know him, you said he is super competitive. He is a bit of a showman, but he's earned that right.
He has. I met Austin when he was 17 at Stearman Field, and he was given as many rides in his Stearman as I was given in Ghost. And it certainly was a good time flying and sharing the airspace with him. We were working hard that weekend. And so Jeff putting in a 137-foot takeoff. Austin put in a very short takeoff at 77 feet. But look at Micah, 73 feet.
Wow. That's short. Hey, well, we've got a second, Corey. Can we talk about those glasses you're wearing?
I would love to talk about these sunglasses I'm wearing. They are from Flying Eyes Optics. And one of the things I love about them, quite honestly, is how amazing they are on my face. I actually forgot I had them on, to be honest with you. And in the aviation world, taking them on and off is a big deal. So they're super thin, very flexible, and the optical quality is great. Now, that's just me. Here's Jeff.
That's just me. Here's Jeff in Dirty Bird, heavy on the brakes.
I'm like, get the camera off of me. Let's watch these planes. That was a great landing from Jeff. It seemed like a little bit longer than his first one, so I don't think he'll be happy with that. He wants to move up in the contention here. So here comes Micah. The heat is on.
Yeah, it sounds like the Air Boss chatter was that the wind kind of dropped off on Jeff on that one. And
it is very, very light right now for Micah, too, so he's going to have to earn this short landing. Still sub 100 feet for Micah, and he looks like he's having a little bit of a fade issue with his right brake.
Jeff Whiteley now off to your left, hovering in. Just an imposing, we keep saying that, but wow, it's just an imposing looking aircraft. Those giant bush wheels hanging down into the wind there.
It's no wonder he's a crowd favorite. Look at those, D-Day reminiscent stripes on the wing. Just a beautiful, beautiful aircraft. Kyle Bushman is one of the remanufacturers of this aircraft, and he did a fantastic job, I have to say. I am a huge fan of everything he does out of his shop, and the beast is no different. Looks like Jeff has a score on the board. I don't know that he's going to be super happy with the distance. It looked like he played it a little conservative, so I expect in his third round to come down a little bit on those distances.
There's Austin now goosing the throttle. Whoa, right on the line there.
We don't have an answer from the line judge yet as to whether or not that counted, but that was a ridiculously short landing. Ooh. If it were me, I'd call it good, but let's wait and see what the officials say.
I think I would call it good too. So you have 2 votes for good if it counts from us.
That's such a great shot on the replay.
Yeah. Lexi's going, what? Oh, they're calling it a scratch in the booth.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But in any case, I think his first landing was a little bit better anyway, so I don't think that that's going to matter to Austin all that much. He's going to retain his spot on top of the leaderboard with Micah Lindstrom breathing down his neck with only a 20 or a 19-foot spread between the two of them, and then even a little bit closer, well, about the same spread between the top 3. This is crazy. I've never seen that before. Almost the exact same spread between 1, 2, and 3. So we've got a 40-foot distance between the first and the third competitor, with Jeff Whiteley also in contention in the Beast.
Here's Jeff for run number 3. Mowing the lawn on that one, and he's off short.
Yeah, I expect Jeff to really put it on right here. I think we're going to either see a scratch or a really short landing from Jeff Pohl. He knows he has to make it happen right now. And here's Micah Lindstrom. He wants to continue to put the heat on Austin Clemens. So he really did a fantastic takeoff right there. Wow.
Micah and Jeff both from Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, the wind has come up just a little bit for Jeff. That's going to really be good for his takeoff here. And it was. That might be his best takeoff of the day, actually. Or close to it.
Now, Micah's takeoff there just a minute ago was 65 feet, which was the shortest of the heat.
Wow, that is really, really fantastic for a Cessna 170. So that's going to put the pressure on this man right here, Austin Clemens. He has to do something to fight off Micah and Jeff here. So he's going to have to put in a super short takeoff, and he does. That was a great one.
He was holding that tail off, just waiting for the time, waiting for the right wind gust to help him get short. Micah still beat him, though, in terms of takeoff distances with 65. That takeoff for Austin Clemens, 73 feet.
Yeah, I did see that on the leaderboard. So that does open the door for Micah Lindstrom to potentially make up that distance to move into first place. But I got to tell you, Mr. Consistent, the prodigy, Austin Clemens is tough to beat. So we've got an uphill battle. But it, again, is coming down to the final round, Ryan. This is intense.
This is super, super intense. You know what else is intense? The light that comes out of an Aero LED. Huh? Aero LEDs, an industry pioneer and leader in LED-based aerospace lighting. We appreciate their support. Here's Jeff Pohl now. On the line.
Oh, wow, that's a
you were
good
right, Corey. He
landing
was going to be
Jeff.
aggressive with it.
I knew he was, and that looks like he's coming in probably around the neighborhood of about 75 feet. I don't think that's going to do it for him, but I think he will be happy with that one. About 88 feet, actually, with the official word from the judges. That's a good landing for Jeff, but it's not going to be enough to catch the leader.
And Jeff, with that very intense landing, very rudely interrupted my conversation about Aero LEDs. So I just want to mention that they're designed and manufactured in Boise, Idaho, state-of-the-art LED aircraft lighting, and they've provided gift certificates first through third place of the unlimited class. And
okay,
run by
here's
a lot
Micah.
I think Micah might have Aero LEDs, actually.
He scratched on that, so that solidifies Austin Clemens' victory in this class. I am beside myself. I'm actually a little bit shocked by that scratch by Micah. That's, believe it or not, a rare thing from him. He normally is pretty dang good at getting that past the line, especially 3 or 4 feet short like we just saw. I don't know, but I think there's going to be a little bit of discussion around the bonfire tonight. I love these guys. I cannot wait for what happens later. And those of you watching live on the internet, you've got to make your way out to one of these competitions because the campfires and the dinners, those are where the competition really heats up. And Jeff Whiteley putting in a fantastic performance today here in the backcountry class. Always a joy to see him and hang out with him and his crew. Just a crowd favorite. Head over to his airplane if you're here locally. He does carry around a load of stickers, little decals you can stick. Feel free to ask him for one. Really cool guy. I hope he has them now that I've said that, though. But here comes Austin Clemens on his landing.
Heartbreak.
I know. Well, I've got a bunch I can give out, too. Here comes Austin, Mr. Consistent. I love watching him fly because he's always safe. I don't know how many times I've ever seen him get into any kind of trouble. He did get into beta there, if you noticed, but it didn't really help his landing. That won't be his highest score, but he did really great. Or maybe it will be his highest score.
He's got to beat 156 to beat his highest score. And yeah, I was actually going to remark that I didn't think we had seen any reverse thrust out of Austin yet, but he did attempt to use it on this last round, and he did a little, little party trick back up there after he was stopped. But you are correct that was not his lowest score. So his top score was 156. Actually, let's run through the unofficial results now of the backcountry class here at Wayne America Fly-In with National STOL. In first place, Austin Clemens in the Husky with the best score of 156 feet combined. Coming up from third into second in that last round, I believe, Jeff Pohl popping up into second place in 00 Dirty Bird with 168. Michael Lindstrom just behind him, 175. You're right, that scratch, Corey, was probably what kept him out of it back into second. And then in fourth place, Jeff Whiteley with 295 feet combined. And I think the biggest thing to keep saying is these are combined scores, right? These are super, super short scores for any general aviation aircraft, and they're just going to keep getting shorter as the day goes on.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about Jeff and Micah and what's going to happen here in the pits. In just a few seconds, those two pilots are going to go razz each other. 7 feet from second to third, boys. That's what happened. Jeff and Micah, good luck in the pits with that conversation you're about to have.
It has been so intense, so many scratches, so many heartbreaks, so many upsets in the last final round. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you very much to all of you in the stands. Thank you very much to all of you viewing at home. And thank you very much to, you can see the credits rolling right here, the crew, the volunteers, everyone who makes this possible, including all of the sponsors that we've been talking about all day. Congratulations to the competitors. What an exciting time. Corey, I can't thank you enough for joining me on the mic this weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure. Where can people find you?
You can find me all over social media, but primarily on YouTube. My handle on social media is Fly Corey. Thank you so much for coming out. Take care of yourselves.
Well, I can't wait for that, everybody. My name is Ryan Dombrowski. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. You can find me at Super Aero on YouTube and Super Aero Flight on Instagram. Would love to see you there. Come chat about STOL and everything that you love about aviation. Would love to keep the conversation going. We'll see you at the next STOL event coming up in I think in July, right? Minnesota's coming up. And then obviously Sodbusters just before Oshkosh. So it's going to be a wild and crazy season. The summer's just getting started. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.